Every business has an ambition. PayPal Open is the platform designed to help you grow into yours. With business loans so you can expand and access to hundreds of millions of PayPal customers worldwide. And your customers can pay all the ways they want with PayPal, Venmo, Pay Later, and all major cards, so you can focus on scaling up. When it's time to get growing, there's one platform for all business. PayPal Open. Grow today at paypalopen.com. Loans subject to approval in available locations.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
The lesson isn't in the loss. It's in what you do with it next.
Educate, empower, enable, impact. Thank you for tuning in to That Will Never Work, an award-winning podcast where we share inspiring information and personal experiences related to business and the entrepreneurial journey from those who are leaders in their respective field. Now, here's your host, author and business coach, Maurice.
Here we go again, y'all. And so we've been talking about it for a while because I've been getting a lot of thoughts on this. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about, dealing with, feeling like they are failures in their lives. And I'm not sure how else to explain to each and every one of you that you're not, that at some particular time in your life, in your space, that a loss is the best thing that could have happened. But I think what it is that, you know, as we said in another episode, that we have to ask the right questions. We really do. And in understanding what the questions are and truly taking that information and now turning it into a true action plan. So if you asked what worked, because a lot of times we figure out, we go with the other one first, like what didn't work, right? And we come from that perspective. And so we get caught in a rut. Sometimes we can get caught in a chain of reactions of feeling not like ourselves, not the best version of ourselves. And we're caught in a place of feeling down and out and not really understanding that there is a part that did work. And while we're staying in that space of what didn't, unfortunately, that attitude can now transition and change the whole atmosphere for not just yourself, but everyone else. It can. I'm not saying it will, but it can. And now you could be considered the cancer. You could be considered the individual that has nothing positive to say. You know, you can have this negative space or negative idea of who you are. So that truly can affect your personal branding, right? Because again, our branding is based upon what other people think of us and how they view us. And so at this time, focusing on what didn't work and spending so much time on that, it can hurt. But now let's flip it now, right? So now let's figure out what did work. Because what didn't work is important, but what didn't work was important just as much as what did work and vice versa. So if we take a look at what did work and truly analyze that and not bypass it and act as if like it's not something that we could build upon, because just like for that part that didn't work, and now we need to shift some things. What did work, we may not have to shift it or analyze it as deep, or at least that's the way we feel. But maybe we should, because it could be a situation of what is our attitude but for this process versus the one that didn't work. Were we happy-go-lucky? Was it raining outside? Were my shoes on the wrong foot? Sometimes we look at things from a perspective of, hey, it just wasn't our time. But there are sometimes some other situations that might not have worked, or it did work. And what was that had going on in that moment? I listened to, again, some sports individuals who talk about how they wear certain clothes or certain eat certain candy or whatever else because they found it to be their normal of how they won, how they felt relaxed, comfortable. So understand that part that might not have worked versus the one that did. Where were you? What state of mind were you in that worked? Who else was working with you on that project? Who was your target audience? Was it the same? And maybe your target audience just didn't like the part that didn't work. Whatever that part might have been. So maybe you misjudged just a little bit. Maybe you don't know your target market as well as you thought you did. Maybe the questionnaire wasn't filled out all the way. So maybe we misstep on, or we misjudge on this one particular question. Maybe it's too misleading. Maybe we're leading people to one answer where it should be going another way. There's so many different parts and factors to this, and so, and understanding that in the next question, which would be, what would I do differently next go round, next time, that is just as equally important, because for the first two being what I did do and what I didn't do and how they both worked, and what would you do different for both of those? Because I don't want you to take for granted that because it worked the first month, that it will work the second month. So just like with the podcast, yes, it's worked. It's been working. It's been happening. But guess what? I've seen a shift now where I have adjusted my show. I've adjusted my mentality. I have adjusted the way I hear and see things. I have adjusted to who I'm listening to. I have adjusted to what I'm watching. I have adjusted to how I'm doing my research. I have adjusted to how I speak about the topics. My tone, even my cadence is different than if you were to listen to me years ago. It's not the same. There's a slight tweak. For those of you who are OGs to this show, you will know that there are some tweaks to this process. And if you know it, please feel free to share it with everyone else on social media. As my wife used to say, stay fit. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and then, of course, you have LinkedIn and TikTok and wherever else you might see or hear this show. But please understand that each one of these things are just as important as the next. And you got to be able to turn that insight into action. So, here's why this matters. It matters because a lesson not applied is a lesson wasted. Again, a lesson not applied is a lesson wasted. Let's understand that growth only happens when knowledge becomes a strategy. Now, sometimes some people want to take the knowledge and just hold on to it for themselves and never use it and whatever, put it in their back pocket or whatever. But we need to take that information and use it to share with the next person. Again, that's how you build trust. That's how you build understanding. That's how you build the opportunities for people to want to share back with you. Now you can help coach them. Now you can help consult them. Now you can be a good friend with them. Now you can find some commonalities. Y'all could be the bestest of friends. So let's understand that a lesson that's not applied is a lesson wasted. Opportunities have been missed. Friendships might have been missed. And that growth only happens when that knowledge becomes a strategy. I thank you very much for listening today.
Thanks for listening. Follow Maurice Chisholm on social media to stay connected and check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, that will never work. Or will it?
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Every business has an ambition. PayPal Open is the platform designed to help you grow into yours. With business loans so you can expand and access to hundreds of millions of PayPal customers worldwide. And your customers can pay all the ways they want. With PayPal, Venmo, Pay Later, and all major cards. So you can focus on scaling up. When it's time to get growing, there's one platform for all business. PayPal Open. Grow today at paypalopen.com. Loans subject to approval in available locations.